We're back again, y'all. Welcome, everybody, to the Humm Daddies. My name is Jake Lucas. I am with Joe Starkey and David Greenstein. You know us by now. And tonight, we're going to get into a special episode for number 25's birthday. And let's celebrate him on this very eve. But let's start with, I don't know. I mean, we're going to get into the Niners a little bit, into the Giants, maybe a couple words about the Warriors, and then what are we going to do? What's our big subject tonight, Dave? Can you break that down?
Rojo Culo.
Culo?
Rojo Culo. 25. There's 25 nominations for Bay Area Red Asses.
Nice.
And who are they? What's your relationship with them? And we want to get some feedback from fans all around. Who do you like? Who do you disagree with? Who do we leave out? And then we'll come back and tie a nice knot with the top 10. And that'll be in our next pod. There you go.
Sweet. Yeah. So we're going to get some red asses from every Bay Area team over the decades and give them nominations, and let's see what we all think about them. We want your feedback too. Also, like and subscribe on YouTube and Instagram and every other platform you check us out on.
Do it now. Do it.
Yeah.
Now.
Now that I said that, just fucking do it. Okay. So let's go with our classic question. What are we wearing and what are we drinking? I'll start off just because it's obvious. It's his birthday, number 25. Barry Lamar Bonds of the Pittsburgh Pirates and, of course, your San Francisco Giants. My favorite player ever. He's a lot of Giants fans' favorite player ever. Maybe the best player ever. A lot of controversy, but I want to celebrate Barry. Shout out to him tonight.
Not according to the SF Gate article. Is
Right.
tied for second.
Right. My friend Dave on Twitter, who I've spoken to a couple times, we'll get into that list a little bit. I think you guys are more familiar with it than me, but he likes to give controversial takes. So, hey, Dave, we're coming for you, buddy. And my drinking, I hope I don't have to pop this open. Like last episode with Ashkan, I drank a Monster Energy. Dave wanted to know what flavor it is. This one's Ultra Sunrise, David.
And the Ultra variety.
Yeah,
nice.
I only go Rockstar, Rockstars, but this is a Monster Zero Sugar. I can't do the sugar, or else
that's too much.
Yeah,
you'll get like acid reflux.
Yeah,
acid reflux. You'll be up all night,
and it's a lot of sugar. When you look at the calories on like energy drinks, they're like 300 calories if they're not zero sugar. So,
well, you got to have something to burn when you get all chaotic, which is another great name for a monster beverage. Chaotic with a K. Go figure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm drinking not an energy drink, but I'm drinking a noon electrolyte drink because I need to stay hydrated for this pod, keep my voice box going. And I got on a midsummer classic, keeping it cool at Snowbird tea that I collected once upon a time when I went out there with Joe and Pete for a nice rip roaring ride down the frosties of Utah.
Gotta love the Wasatch, baby. Some good snow out there. Light powder, very nice. And just an easy hop, skip, and jump over there. Like a little, hour 25 over to the Salt Lake City airport. So easy to get to. Oh my gosh. Can't wait.
It's the best.
Nice.
What do you got on, Joe?
Well, I got my crazy jersey today. The craziest thing I could find. It's kind of, midsummer. And I whipped out the orange creamsicle Steve Young jersey.
Oh,
wow. Crazy 8.
Yeah.
That's the Bucs?
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, number 8, Steve Young.
That is so sick. I love that jersey.
Still full of surprises over there, Joe. What a great little...
Yeah, you can try to keep you on your toes, man. And what am I drinking? Last week I drank a hazy train, and that was right before our guy Ozzy bit the dust. And so I gotta run that back. Crazy train.
Nice.
Do you have like an anteater? I was gonna say, do you have an anteater on your cap? What is that?
Oh, this is a little bear, otherwise known as a cub. It's a Chicago Cub hat. It's all kind of black on black bear hat.
Yeah, we're gonna have to dive back in again to your favorite new team, the Chicago Cubs, which we never talk about. But they're still pretty good this year, and I don't feel like your love is
Oh,
really working out right now. I just
they're
feel like you.
fantastic. They're an offensive juggernaut. Unfortunately, the Milwaukee Brewers don't feel like losing games ever. So I guess now we're in the wild card hunt. The Chicago Cubs are in the wild card hunt ahead of the Giants, but only by a little bit.
There's still time
What
to catch Jacob Mizrowski in the.
Yeah, they got to lose eventually.
Yeah.
PCA is killing it. That dude is a gem.
Guys, real good. I mean, their whole lineup is just full of guys that can produce.
Totally.
Yeah.
Can I ask you, what's the Crazy Train? Is that like one of those? Is that like Thunderbird and one of those cheap like gas station liquor store drinks?
Oh no, it's a field work. It's a
Oh, okay.
nice establishment fieldwork brewery. Very good stuff. Highly recommend.
Okay, copy that. I checked out the Paulie and Tony's PMP Polymax Particles, and they announced the Aussie Death live on the air, and they were both like really shaken up about it. And it's a lot of people are just Black Sabbath diehards and Aussie diehards, so that's hitting a lot of people, as well as Hulk Hogan died today, which some of I'm on a thread, and a lot of people paid their respects. Some people didn't. So I'll let you guys feel however you want about that. But when people die, acknowledge them and pay your respects or not.
Certainly, they all brought happiness to some people in some capacity. They probably also brought a lot of pain and suffering to others. But we don't have to know about every individual case.
I mean,
celebrate the good that they did and not reflect on the negatives that we all have to, handle.
Two wild men entertainers, Hulk Hogan and Ozzy Osbourne. That's like wild stuff right there.
Two OG reality show guys too, actually.
Yes.
They both had like very successful reality shows of their families.
Were they in any like of those like slap into a Slim Jim commercials together, you think? Because I feel like they kind of came out of the same brand in some way.
That was Macho Man, wasn't it?
Macho Man Randy Savage, sir.
Yeah, I know. He was the main guy, but I feel like every once in a while Hulk Hogan and Ozzy were just they were just in the same class of that kind of tough, badass. And I feel like I'm going to look it up while we go.
They could have been in a commercial together.
They must have been in something together.
Yeah, those guys could sell some meat sticks for sure.
I'd get a meat stick from both of those fellas, no doubt about it. And I'm sure some of our friends would enjoy their meat sticks that they carried on them. But yeah. No, those are two legendary characters. Oh, and Malcolm Jamal Warner died recently too on earlier this week in a really tragic drowning in Costa Rica. He was the son on the Cosby Show, and anyone in the entertainment industry, is usually you'd be familiar with him. So that was kind of a sad. He was a really good dude too. I came across him before back in my LA days, and very nice fellow. So yeah. There you go. Let's move on from the unfortunate deaths of these celebrities and pivot to the 49ers and their training camp. And let's hope the 49ers aren't dead again this year like they were last year. Hi, do you like that transition?
Great segue, Jake. There you go.
I'm finding that the 49ers have maybe turned the leaf from this whole minicamp problem of the last 3 years, and maybe things are shifting. There could have been a stalemate with Brock Purdy. The Juwan Jennings thing could have been a problem. It seems like they might be able to overcome it and have a drama-free summer. So I'm hopeful.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think
Juwan
it's
reported.
What injuries are we going to have and not have during this kind of mini camp stage? There's always somebody that's going to go down, or somebody that gets, a raw calf or a hamstring that's a little tight. And, let's pray it's not CMC. I mean,
yes.
This is where it kind of comes down to is like, we got all these guys that are great. We want them to be, locked in on the plays that Shanahan calls, yada, yada, yada. But the reality is we want them on the field week one. We already going to have a few guys out for various reasons. And so,
So
cross your fingers.
I was having a little bit of a panic attack looking at this San Francisco 49er wide receiver room situation. And then I remembered CMC and Christian McCaffrey. He's not just a fantastic running back, he's also our best wide receiver. And we got Kittle and Christian McCaffrey who just totally supplement the passing game in a way that's just non-replicable. So that is just going to make it for Brock Purdy, even if we got some of these kind of mid receivers, next man up kind of thing. I hope we get another free agent. We did get, who'd we get? Amon-Ra St. Brown's brother, Equiminius St. Brown. Hopefully he can be somebody.
Hell of a name.
Yeah.
Hell of a name.
I
agree with you 100%. CMC is kind of like the Steph Curry of the 49ers in the sense that he makes the game easier for everybody else around him. He's going to bring linebackers forward to have to cover him in the flat, and then you get guys that maybe can run over the top and get a few more open looks for Brock down the field, and I think that just makes us have the different levels of passing game that we kind of didn't have last year. I think that's one of the main reasons we struggled. Once Ayuk went out, we kind of lost that 10 to 20 yard threat, and Juwan is he can get out there around 15, but Juwan's not catching too many balls past 20 yards. So it's nice to get CMC to kind of fill in the flat for us.
Yeah, Juwan doesn't take the top off the defense, and that's why I hope he's not expecting to get paid like a wideout that does. Juwan is basically more of a tight end kind of style receiver. He's a possession guy. His third and Juwan is what Papa says all the time,
and a great blocker.
He has kind of Crabtree-like skills. I'd say Crabtree's a little bit better, on the deep threat, but he reminds me a lot of him.
Yeah,
no, I agree with Jake. He's like a tight end plus receiver kind of thing.
Yeah, and we have George Kittle, who might be the best tight end in football. So, yeah, we're if McCaffrey and Kittle stay healthy, we will be good as far as receiving goes. And Juwan is going to sign. I mean, all we need is a small extension. I feel like he probably only a couple years and a bit of a raise. He's not looking for anything crazy, I would hope. So that's kind of all we got for the Niners. Oh, Michael Williams, I hear, is buddying up with Trent Williams, and that's a good sign. Nick Bosa likes to pick Trent's mind for kind of what the offensive line does to be able to, try to get inside the head of the opponent. And, he goes against them in practice all the time. They share, their tricks of the trade on each side of the ball. So I think Bosa's talked to Michael about that. And Trent is talking to Michael. And they're, it sounds like a good vibe going with those guys, with the big fellas.
One thing I'm thinking about is also this kicking situation with Moody. He was such a bummer, or has been such a bummer since we selected him in the third round. Are we going to do this again with him? I hope he gets it together.
There's a competition right now with him and who'd they bring in? I forgot his name.
Guy I don't know.
He's been around. I don't want to say the wrong name, but it's a guy we know. He's kicked for other teams.
I mean, it's just such a total bummer when you're like, these guys are in the trenches, busting their ass, and then you got Moody just, winging it wide right.
Is it Greg Joseph?
That sounds about right, I think. Anyway, yeah, it's a they're having a battle for that. I think it's more to just say, hey, Jake, you're not untouchable. Get your shit together.
Good. A little friendly competition is going to bring the best out of the kicking unit.
I think competition everywhere in any sport, when you're just set with a job with no one, kind of looking over your shoulder, that leads to apathy sometimes. And it's always good to have some competition and someone behind you wants to take your job. That's the nature of sports.
That's the way the Giants really thrived when they didn't have a lot of great players. They would do so much utility playing where they have 2 or 3 guys, moving through 2 positions on the field, and whoever had the hot bat was swinging it, was staying on, and that really brought out the best.
Like 21 Giants or before?
I'm thinking more like the Bonds years when we had our hydrants in the outfield. The
Marvins
and Javi, Stan Javier, and even Pagan.
Dave Martinez. He was there
Was he?
early on, yeah, in the
Yeah.
early '90s.
But there's a few varieties. We've done it in different positions, and I always have liked the style when you don't have a set everyday player to utility them with a few, and guys who can, like Schmidt. Schmidt's a perfect example of a guy who can play second, third, and he's hot, so he's going to find his way into some plays on the field.
Totally,
and it's going to keep everybody else on their toes. That hey, Schmidt's coming for you. He's always
like
there.
Mike Benjamin.
Yeah, Mike Benjamin's a good one.
You know.
Well, if Moody can't stand the heat in the kitchen in minicamp, he can just move it on out. So good to have a little pressure because he's going to have a ton of pressure during the season, and if he can't get it figured out here, I'm ready to move on.
Agreed. Definitely agreed. So moving on, let's go to before we get into the Giants. Do we want to talk about some stuff that's been happening with our kids? Because we are daddies, and so that's always a part of the show.
Sure.
Who is your daddy, and what does he do? Segment.
Yes. Joe, who's your daddy?
Okay, so in daddy world, I'd say most recently we've had a loose tooth saga going on here.
Ooh.
So my son, he really babies the loose tooth. Like when brushing the teeth, got to work around it. Don't touch it. Don't pull it. Don't yank it. It's been hanging on for like 2.5 months. This guy's been loose since April, I think. And it finally blew over today. Or last night, yesterday at camp. It fell into his water bottle. They had to fish it out of the water bottle. He stopped the whatever activity they were doing to talk about the tooth, bringing home the tooth. But then it's not over. You got a whole situation to sort out here with the tooth and the tooth fairy and all this business.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. You got to find some cash. Who, you got cash on you? I got to find some cash.
You can't just give him like a little bit of Bitcoin or something under
No,
his bed?
I can't transfer it into his,
digital currency account.
Sketch. No, it doesn't.
He doesn't have Cash App?
No, he doesn't. So I got to scrounge, and then you don't think about this, but like, how do you get it under the pillow? It's like not easy.
Those kids have to sleep hard,
I mean. You got to wait for the right opportunity. You got to slip in there like a little tooth fairy ninja.
Nerve-wracking, Joe.
Very nerve-wracking.
Wow. Okay,
what's
the
going rate?
I don't ask me, dude. I don't. We have no
interest. Used to be $1, and then
$5
maybe.
at one point. Now, with inflation, you might need
it's
a
25.
Well, I feel bad. You go to the store, like, here's all your money. It's like, oh, I can't buy anything here. So,
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, eggs have gone back down a little bit, so they're
it's important. Maybe slip an egg under there for him.
A hard-boiled egg.
Yeah.
So he doesn't, snap or crush it with his head. I'll go next. So I have 2 children. The one, Mila, the girl, the daughter. This is a funny story. A couple days ago, she said, "There's a ghost in my room." And I was like, "What?" She said, "Yeah, a ghost is talking. Was talking." I was like, "A ghost was talking to you in your room?" I was thinking act of imagination. She's like, "Yeah, last night in my room." And I was like, "Okay, did you hear about this ghost from Meme?" And that's her Chilean grandma who stayed with us for a couple months, who believes in ghosts and said there was a ghost in our house. So I figured she picked it up from her. And she's like, no, there's a ghost in my room. I was like, okay, well, that's the creepiest shit I've ever heard. And my wife yelled out, no, she's talking about a show she saw last night in her room, Mickey and the Roadster Racers, at a Halloween episode with a ghost in someone's room.
Oh.
So I was very relieved because I was like, where the hell is this coming from? And is our house haunted? Because that's the second confirmation there. So
yeah, having a poltergeist is no small issue. You got to really work that thing out of there. You got to be careful of the grainy TVs coming together. You just careful.
We can't watch Mickey and the Roadster Racers. Pete is too scary for Kendall, so we gotta.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, very, very concerned. There's an episode with the giant, the Jolly Green Giant, go up the beanstalk thing. Very
Okay.
concerned about that whole situation.
Yeah. Mila's really into it. She's also into Paw Patrol a lot now. But yeah, there's a Halloween episode in Mickey and the Roadster Racers and she loves Halloween now because we always ask, hey, what do you want to be? She likes dressing up and stuff. So that's a constant conversation, and she loves all episodes of her shows that have to do with Halloween. We got a Halloween daughter, but yeah, it was kind of creepy. So
Orange and black right there.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, as you know, I went on a trip last weekend to San Diego solo papa with the daughter. And we did the whole fly and it was great, but I think the memory that I have the most was the flight there. Get on, she's pretty good, where she's eating her little snacks and she's pushing all the buttons and calling the flight attendant over, and I got to turn it off and explain to her why you don't push that button. But as we're kind of getting close to landing, the woman who's sitting right next to us is just 2 seats, very friendly, very nice. Adrian's sitting on my lap, and she just turns her head and just sneezes right on her. And I saw her to go for the wipe down, and then she sneezed again, and I got my hand in just in time to cover her mouth. And then we finally landed, and I apologized to the woman, and she's like, "Oh, I don't even know what you're talking about." I was like, "I'm pretty sure you know what wetted your arm." It was really hilarious, and I realized that most little kids don't even know that, and then in an airplane, like, man, being sneezed on must be like pretty brutal. Anyway, it was fun. We had a good time. I survived, I think, more than anything in the end.
Yeah, congratulations on making it.
Yeah. But it was fun to bond with a kid one-on-one.
Totally.
We haven't had that for a while. And outside of our comfort zone, it's different when you're at home and you can rely on all your little toys and everything. So we were playing games in the airport where she'd run between my legs, and it was fun.
Yeah. That was a good time. I love that age, which I think Adrian is about now, when Mila would just run back and forth under my legs. It's a joy.
It is a joy.
Okay, well, that was some good daddy talk. How about those Giants, man? Rafael Devers wet my whistle yesterday. I'll tell you, that was a joy to watch.
How about that one-handed home run, or it was like totally off balance? He still whacked it out. He
must have got it on the absolute perfect part of the bat, because he was a half swing at best.
I could not believe it. Either could Spencer Strider.
Like a nasty pitch too, and it's barely off the ground. It was
Strider couldn't believe
that in a long time.
He was baffled. I think.
Yeah, and even more impressive was his full count after he got some chin music. Stands back up, and Fleming was like, "Don't poke the bear," and Javi Lopez agreed, and then he hits a fucking monster blast.
Huge.
That drove in 3, I believe. So that was some badass shit. I was like, okay, he's a dude. All right, everybody, he's actually a dude, because that was some big boy. That was a big boy AB for sure. Rafi Devers is legit.
Can we maybe just touch real quick on the fact that he broke out of this seemingly ongoing slump since he joined? Not this game, but the game before, and he played first base. And I think I think that was his first game playing first base.
Yes.
And so there's something about getting on the field and feeling a little more engaged that may have helped him spring loose a bit. I don't know. I want to say that was it for sure, but I'd like to see him touch first base other than just rounding it every once in a while, just to keep him a little more just with the team, engaged in what's going on, and catching a ball from Adames and Chapman. I just feel like there's some vibe and connection that's worthwhile.
Yeah, I think different people react differently to the way to playing DH, because you're just sitting around watching the game, and then you're like, "Oh, I got to get up there and hit," which is just so much different than being active and involved in the game and just in the flow like you've always played your entire life.
Yeah,
and then go to hit. It's a totally different mentality. Not everybody can be a DH, I don't think. And by the way, I think the Giants would be more successful if he did play first base. It gives people like Wilmer the opportunity to play and be more flexible with who can hit. So I think it's great for the Giants.
Successful. Yeah, so far they are more successful with him at first, and I think there's totally something to that, Dave. He played third basically for most of his career, right? And then this year was the year he was DHing the most.
Well, they got Bregman over in Boston,
right?
So.
But he was mostly a third baseman, I think, with a little DHing thrown in.
To Joe's point, you get in a slump. of any kind. It's just going to happen over the course of a season, and your job is only to hit, not do anything else. What are you going to do? You're going to sit there, and all you're going to do is think about what you're doing. I think that's kind of what you were saying, Joe. Like versus you get on the field and you can compartmentalize your shitty at bat and say, I have a job to do in the field. I can't think about that right now, and it helps you just like unwind it a little bit. You can, you obviously can sulk after the game too, but in the middle of a game, it's nice to get out and feel like you can make something else happen and be helpful than just it's only my bat. So I really think Devers mentally is going to thrive if he gets some more shots playing first base.
I agree. And as a guy who's I DH'd a couple times in my day, and I hated it. Sitting in the dugout, you feel like you're not in the game, and then all of a sudden your number's called to hit. I did not enjoy that. It takes you out of the rhythm of the game, at least.
It's the reason why the DH is a terrible idea and should be completely eliminated from the sport, but it's never going to be. And Joe would disagree with that. I know. I was setting you up, but I do believe that the DH, it's a very specific player that can do it, like the Edgar Martinez's of the world that know they're that good of a hitter. But otherwise, I think it's a waste. I think it's a waste. I like the idea of pitchers hitting too. I like the idea of that.
If the pitchers weren't so shitty at hitting, they're so bad. It's just there's
So we let them get out of it by giving them the DH. We
93 out of 100 pitchers just cannot do it. It's just a waste of time.
In the game of baseball.
Everything's so specialized in baseball. The specialization in baseball, especially in the lower levels, is a joke. You know how now pitchers don't even hit when they're kids. You know
that's the part I especially don't like is because I
let
really
alone
feel like
play other sports. They don't hit in baseball when
we're perpetuating a problem by allowing the DH to be in the National League. Get it out. That's my opinion. Get it out.
And to all you fathers that are trying to specialize your 10-year-olds at pitching and don't let them hit, get a fucking life. Okay.
I agree with that. Too. Get a life.
Get your ass away from them and let them play multiple sports and stop ruining their modern sports.
The 2 home run game was as good as Verlander getting that first fucking W. Speaking of new daddies, as a kid not long ago, but man, did he need that one? He was getting real gray around the face.
Hey, love to see a 42-year-old getting a W. That's what I like to see.
Well, listen, Joe, you called it. You said he's going to break out in the second half. So far, so good because he pitched really well. He got out of a lot of jams that he wasn't getting out of earlier in the season. So it's nice to see Verlander turn it around, stick his feet in the ground, and get a nice big win.
There was this one pitch. I think it was to close out the third or fourth inning. It was like first and third, 2 strikes, 2-2 count, and he threw this nasty. What do you want to call it? A sweeper, maybe? I don't know what the hell they call it anymore. It was like a slider, and it just died at his back foot. It was a great pitch, and he's like, "Oh, this guy still got it, man."
Love it.
He's had multiple starts where I thought he looked great in the first half. He just got no run support, or he came out with the lead, and the bullpen blew it miraculously when they're good for every other starter.
So I got a question. They sent Birdsong down.
Yeah.
Now we got 4 starters. We were kind of like a little bit shorthanded as it was. People, I think Verlander and Birdsong were kind of taxed. Who's going to step up? We need to get a free agent pitcher now. I think
it's time for a trade.
Well, one thing I'm really confused about is why would you send Birdsong down and not just put him back in the bullpen where he started off the year? Because that's where he was doing so well, and that's why he earned a starting spot. So just put him back in the bullpen and let him recover there so he can take a little bit of the pressure off. And meanwhile, we bring up Jelly, who's fucking awful. I'm sick of seeing that guy come out and just get ripped. It's almost like you just want someone to go out there and give up runs to make the other team feel good. But let's put Jelly out there. Well, even with the name Jelly, just makes me feel terrible.
Jelly.
He's just jelly balling. It's brutal, man. I can't stand it.
I hear his wife's a big fan of him. His wife enjoys his presence.
Of the Humm Daddies? Because of his big push broom?
No. Apparently he's quite the fella behind the scenes, but I'll leave that to you to research.
Yeah, you got to Google that one, Dave.
All right, I'll leave that to the pat.
It's like your Aubrey Huff realization.
Well, anyway, Roop pitched really well and continues to be, that number 3 the Giants have. If Verlander can turn around, listen, maybe Joe, all we need is 4 starters and we just have bullpen games and we just live that
No,
way.
you can't do that. You're going to tax that bullpen. That bullpen is good and you don't want to just be blowing out Bivens every time.
Blowout
You got to
Come
keep
on,
those
when did
guys
that
fresh.
happen?
You got like 3 guys under 2 on their ERA. That bullpen is kind of special. You don't want to blow that up.
We need to get a
So
quality veteran arm, I think. Not too veteran, not another Verlander, but someone who can eat some innings, who flirts between a 3 and a 4 ERA, someone solid. You don't
That's
have to
what
give
we're-
up too much.
Yeah.
Huh?
No, I was going to say that's where we're going after former Dodger starter on the Red Sox. That trade doesn't seem to come to fruition.
Right.
my concern, you go into the playoffs, which they're not far out of the playoffs. They're a game and a half behind the final wild card spot behind San Diego. I think they have just as good a shot as San Diego. I don't know if they're going to catch the Phillies or the Cubs or Milwaukee, whoever it might be. But I think they got a decent shot to get in, and you want to have 3 really good starting pitchers, and we got Logan
3.
Webb, check. And I think they got Robbie Tight Pants, and they got Roop. I think is qualifying these days. He's pitching really well. The guy that actually concerns me is Robbie Tight Pants, RTP. After his Tommy John surgery, I don't know how much stamina he's going to have in this latter half of the season and possibly into the playoffs. I hope he pitches as well as he has in the first half of the season, but I'm going to be watching to see how he does.
That's a good point. I'm not concerned about it. He hasn't given me any thing to be totally concerned about, but it's a good point.
Well, in the last couple games, he's given up a lot of home runs, and hopefully he gets back on track here.
Landon Roop hasn't pitched a full season either, so you can't really count on him going deep into the season.
All the more reason to maybe get another arm if the guys are serious about making a run this year.
Right. Yeah. Or 2 even, now that we think about it.
I think it's just a matter of time before Birdsong comes back up. I think this is temporary to kind of let him have a little bit of a stress-free environment, not put too much pressure on himself. I think he'll be back. If he's a starter, we'll see, but I think he'll be back in the pen next few weeks, my guess.
Yeah, let's wrap this up by saying go Giants. Let's stop with the roller coaster losing streak, then winning streak. Can we get some steady, consistent play out of you guys? Please.
And with that, it's Kulo talk.
What are you talking about? What is Kulo?
Well, we're going to go Rojo Kulo or the red ass.
Oh.
That's right.
Butte.
Joe,
but
what is a red ass? Everyone in the world wants to know what a red ass is. Many of us know. We've been around the block a few times. But can you tell us what that means?
A baboon.
Joe?
Well, I think there's slightly different takes. I mean, for me, the biggest thing is the intensity. A guy who's a red ass is an intense MFer, and somebody who's just like so geared up that they will just fly off the handle at any opportunity. The guy that like comes to mind for me is Paul O'Neill. He was just brimming with intensity, and you get a bad pitch or he fucks up, and he just will lose his shit. Throw the cooler on the field, kick the ball, whatever it is, he's just going to lose it. But it's all in an attempt to win and be like the most perfect player you can be. I think some people would say a red ass is also somebody who is like doing it the right way, like will hustle, will take out somebody at second base. But I gotta give a little bit of leniency to that part of it, and just like somebody who's just gonna flip their lid because they're so intense on winning the game is kind of what I think of as a red ass.
So here's what we're gonna do. We've created a list of 25 nominees. We're going to go over them. Let's have Dave announce each one. We give our thoughts on said red ass. It's of all Bay Area sports over the last 3 or 4 decades. And then we can post the list on our social media, and hopefully you guys can weigh in, and we will pick the top 10 red asses from your Bay Area teams. How's that sound?
Let's do it. We're going to go through them, some of them a little quicker than others, because we got 25 for 25 today. As Jake's hat tells us, it's Bond's birthday, so 25 red asses.
Yeah.
So in no particular order, first one, first baseman, Giants, Will Clark.
I mean, that's a particular order, Dave. That guy is the reddest of red asses there ever been.
He's making the list.
He
will make the
He's
list.
going to be making the list.
If he's not on the list, this list does not count.
Fact.
Will the Thrill Kulo. All right, number 2, Ronnie Lott.
I mean, I'm scared of him.
What can you say about Ronnie Lott? Cut off a pinky.
Yeah.
He wants to beat the shit out of somebody else. Fingers or no fingers.
Yeah, I think
a
a red ass.
psycho.
Yeah. Yeah, he qualifies. I would not want to be his teammate on the wrong side of dropping coverage there.
Back when you were allowed to play defense as well.
Right.
And just knock motherfuckers out. All right.
This guy, Golden State Warrior, you know him well. Probably one of the probably going to be on the top 10. Kind of has to be Draymond Green.
I think Joe made this list by order, so this is we might get the top 10.
These are the first guys that came to my mind, and he's
fair enough.
Draymond Green will make the list.
All right, we'll go to some random spots. We'll come back. Reggie Jackson, Oakland A for many years. Joe, you want to tell us a little bit about your feelings?
Well, yeah, the early 70s A's that won the 72, 73, 74 World Series, they were brawling against each other, and largely because Reggie Jackson was up in the mix. They were all pissed off that they weren't getting paid by Charlie Finley, and they'd have, pregame knockout fights, and, Reggie Jackson was just a hothead in your face, ready to go to blows before the game. Hey, that's a red ass.
Yeah, he speaks his mind. He sparks up controversy and debate. Doesn't give a shit about people's feelings. He took on ownership. He took on the league. That guy is a savage, to say the least. He's also from the Bay originally, isn't he? Do you know?
Yeah.
Isn't he Martinez or something?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe not.
He went to Arizona State, I know. I don't know where exactly he's from.
I think he might be from the Bay. Maybe not. But he was only on the A's for how long? Like 5 years?
68 to
73.
So I think he went to the Orioles in 76.
Okay, that's long enough. But
he's from Winnicott, Pennsylvania.
All right, so no Bay Area roots, I suppose, unless they moved. I don't know why I think that. Or he lived here after.
He lived in the area, and there's a lot of diners in Oakland that have Reggie Jackson's picture with them and stuff like that.
Yeah, so he moved
here
here after he retired.
You might have got him confused with Willie Stargell, Jake.
No, I know he's from SNL.
No, Reggie Jackson's got a nice imprint here in the East Bay.
For sure. Okay.
All right,
cool.
well, we're going to do a couple of Sharks players. First, we're going to go with Owen Nolan.
Starkey?
Yeah, I mean, Owen Nolan was, kind of an early Shark intense guy. I'm going to pair him with the guy who I remember being a real red ass, which nobody probably remembers. I lived in San Jose for a few years, and there was this guy named Ryan Clough, who was a pretty good player. He scored some goals, but he was just always in a fight. The guy was just picking fights. You were going to have a problem, and he was going to solve it. It was. I think all hockey players are kind of a red ass to a certain degree, but this guy was just kind of like he's going to get after it every night.
Maybe these are the purple asses. They're just so red.
Yeah,
purple.
Right.
Yeah, Burns was a red ass, right? And Big Joe, kind of.
I feel like Big Joe's a little nicer. I don't know. They're all red ass. Yeah.
Right. They all play so tough. It's hard to tell. I don't know who they are.
But I think part about being a red ass is you're kind of like stoic and you just care about winning more than people's feelings or anything.
Right.
Yeah. Right. All right. No longer a Warrior. You shall be missed. Pat Spencer. And I think we saw this in the Houston Rocket series where he really showed his true colors of being a feisty motherfucker.
Yeah, this is definitely my pick. The guy headbutted. What's that dude's name?
Sangoon.
Alfred.
Yep.
Sangoon. Yeah, he's this guy. He's definitely a red ass. Hopefully he makes it.
Gotta love Pat, G Leaguer, and then 1 year on the Warriors. He's not gonna make the top 10, but he's worthy of a mention.
Former YMCA superstar Pat Spencer. Logan Webb.
He's a winner.
I don't know that he's necessarily the highest of the red ass list here because to me he just goes about his business. I mean, he looks stoic on the mound, but when you talk to the guy, he seems pretty,
kind of
chill,
reserved. Yeah,
but he's on there.
Sure,
he's part of the 25. interchangeable. Maybe he's more like a honorable mention, like
He's a
Yastrzemski
pink
was
ass.
in that stupid fucking article. All right, next one is
This
Jason.
article.
The top 50 players.
Oh yeah.
Mike Yastrzemski was an honorable mention. What are you talking about? There wasn't even a Vogel song mentioned.
The 93 roster could have been
Yeah.
like every guy on that is above Mike.
You didn't even get Vogel song. It was what a bizarre list.
Okay, well, let's talk about this list for a second. So on the list, top 50 Giants of all time, they put Buster Posey number 1. And they had a little caveat at the beginning that's like maybe not just the best player, but the best, Giant with,
It was greatest. That didn't include
greatest. Thank
It was
you.
called it was titled top, then it was greatest. He couldn't make up his mind what the word was because he had no way of really explaining it. He should have just said most influential Giants of all time.
Well, I guess
and then you could have.
He succeeded. He succeeded in his clickbait, Dave.
Yeah.
I clicked. I've been baited, and I'm angry about it because Buster Posey is not the greatest Giant of all time. I mean, at best, he could be 3 because you know why? There's 2 of the best players that have ever lived, that have ever played the game ahead of him, and it's just really insulting to put him ahead of him.
Yeah,
I'm very upset about it. I don't know what to tell you.
If Buster Posey in the next 20 years becomes the greatest GM, goes on to manage too, and does a bunch of other things for the Giants, maybe then he's in that conversation. But right now, no, he's number 3 at the best.
Because honestly,
and even
Buster
then, you
Posey,
might even say McCovey's ahead of him too.
Posey's he's going to make the Hall of Fame, probably first ballot. But honestly, when you look at his stats, he's kind of a borderline Hall of Famer. He's not even a shoo-in.
If he wasn't a catcher, I'd be thinking twice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's not a catcher for sure.
So when you have the
difference.
2 of the greatest hitters in the 150 years of baseball or whatever it is ever on your team on the San Francisco Giants,
not just hitters too, Jake. They're Gold Glovers.
8-time Gold Glover Barry Bonds, 22-time All-Star Willie Mays. I mean,
best center fielder of all time. I'm pretty sure that's true.
Yeah. But so
Anyway.
this guy is he gets under people's skin a lot, and he does it on purpose. And I don't really respect that when people try to do that all the time. So I don't want to give him too much.
So we'll offer him an opportunity to come on the Humm Daddies and explain himself.
Absolutely.
And here we go. We'll make sure he gets this post.
I just
I love
know
this.
Dave with a giant sign on Twitter. That's how I see him, and I know he's the SF Gate guy. So you're welcome to come on, dude.
All right.
Jason Giambi. Red ass
Where we at?
Jason Giambi. Continuing forward in the leg.
Giambi was an intense MFer. He'd yell at his teammates. He'd have some swagger. I feel like I'm not sure he'd like go charge the mound kind of heat, but he was very intense about his work.
Especially when he got all those roids in him. He was just so big.
Yes. Well, I also remember there was a playoff game when Miguel Tejada like just totally blew it on the base pass, and he just went out and chewed his ass out. And you could say like, he was first of all a great team leader and everything, but that guy cared more about winning than his feelings at that moment.
Yeah, I remember him that way. That's Giambi. Yeah.
All right, next we got Billy Martin.
That's a Bay Area guy.
Dude, he's from Berkeley, West Berkeley. Billy Martin. He's one of the original red asses. I think if you follow a lot of managers, you'll find that they got a little bit of rose on their cheeks because you got to be real intense, involved with every pitch, and just really give too much about it. And Billy Martin, just look at his highlights on YouTube. He was kicking dust in every umpire's face, yelling at Reggie Jackson. 2 red asses going at each other on the Yankees in the late 70s. That was a good one. But yeah, that guy's a classic red ass.
But don't you consider him a Yankee more than anything?
His years with the Oakland A's were really good as a manager in the early 80s. He turned it around. They're gone now, but they were about to leave in the early 80s. They had some real low attendance, and then he totally brought them back with Billy Ball, 80, 81, 82, 83, like really good years. He also did very well. He managed a year with the A's, with the Rangers. He had a really good year with the Twins. So he did some stuff with other teams, but most known for the Yankees, getting fired 5 times, George Steinbrenner. So
Some till the red ass came out with Steinbrenner.
Yeah.
All right, we're going next to Jawan. Made it to minicamp Jennings.
I'll start. Last year was ready for a 1,000-yard season. Last game of the year, he blocks some guy for 20 yards downfield and gets ejected
into the end zone.
Yeah, that's
Back
my
of the
kind
end
of
zone.
dude, and he plays his ass off. He's kind of reserved when it comes to like talking, but his play on the field is just do anything to win, help the team. Never cared if the ball was thrown to him or not. He just wanted to play his ass off.
Third and
Yeah.
Jawan.
When the ball was thrown to him, he was a fucking beast last year. So I have nothing but respect for the guy. This whole controversy was caused by his agent, and I really believe that. It's not in his character to say, "Oh, I want to trade." It's not Jawan Jennings.
100% agree.
To the point of that ejection at the last game of the season, he had 975 yards. He was going to get his first 1,000-yard receiving season, and he didn't care because he's a red ass and got kicked out of the game.
And that's the reason why he's demanding more money. All right, next we got Justin Smith. Defensive
the cowboy.
end.
Yeah. If you look at all these pictures up, there you go. Right here, the
one of the couple getting married, the kiss.
No,
back there?
next to that.
Yeah, there we go. Two Justin
You have
Smiths.
me in a Randy Moss jersey because I'm a diva, and then you have my dad and my brother-in-law in Justin Smith jerseys because they love red ass D linemen, and my brother in an Alex Smith jersey because he wanted to complete the trio of Smiths. But yeah, Justin Smith's a cowboy, man. He was a huge part of Alden Smith getting all those sacks because they had to double team him basically. He's just a beast.
That left side was so potent.
Yeah. But yeah, love him.
All right. Next, the Aussie, Golden State Warrior, Andrew Bogut.
Yeah, I think Andrew Bogut would wreck some shop. He doesn't care about people's feelings. He's going to go elbow you in the face. He's going to talk some shit. He'll go fight you. He doesn't care. That's Andrew Bogut. I'd like to have him on my team.
As we know now for his political leanings too. I mean, just his cultural talk. He tweets and stuff all the time and just has no regard for anyone's feelings. He talks shit about Chris Paul all the time, how he hates him. He hates his game. He thinks he's a horrible person.
He's very opinionated. I remember listening to doing an interview and talking about how he was very strict with all of his money and financing and just very structured his life in a conservative, mean manner. But hey, Tolbert used to interview him a lot and would just crack up because Bogut would just be, I don't give a shit. Awesome. All right. The legend Rick Barry.
That's psycho right there.
I think that's enough said. Tom Rathman. Big old fullback for the rumbling, bumbling 90s Niners, or 80s and 90s Niners.
Yeah, and Raiders.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
He was a running backs coach, too, for both the Raiders and Niners, and I've heard him get interviewed and talk. He gets mic'd up, or he used to get mic'd up on, at practice, and would just tear into guys. Big-time red ass.
Yeah, I remember Frank Gore. He was the running backs coach when Frank Gore was playing, and Frank Gore, wouldn't come off the field, which is a great red ass quality in his own right. Tom Rathman just said, "I'll go after him. This is not happening on my watch. We need to, I talked to him about that. He gotta have you gotta have a red ass on the team. One of the reasons why those late 80s, early 90s Niners are probably so good is that little red ass on that team at fullback.
You want someone who has so much, what's the word for you? Just the confidence is beaming out of them so much, you don't even understand why. I mean, Damon Bruce is a red ass in the world of, podcasts and radio because he's got an absurd amount of confidence, you don't even know where it comes from. He doesn't. He's even mentioned that.
It's not just having so much will to win that you just can't even. It just overcomes you, like a Lenny Dykstra type of person who
I was thinking of.
I will give every ounce of my body to winning this game, and I don't care about anything else.
Thomas Brady, guys.
Yep.
Yes, definitely.
Very close to Tom Brady, Hunter Strickland.
Same level of athlete.
Both had great arms. Yeah, I remember those fiery games against the Nationals when he was going up against Bryce Harper, and they were barking. He'd strike him out, and then Bryce Harper would launch a jack. That was a fun ordeal. I thought we were going to have a lot more of him as a Giant. He always seemed like he had closer-like stuff, but it just never really stuck around, and his career was pretty short.
I think it might be argued that he was more of a head case red ass than a winning red ass, because towards the end of his Giants run, he was kind of self-destructive and would do things that didn't help the team. He'd throw at guys, he'd do stupid shit, walk guys, and just get in his own head and not be an effective relief pitcher. So he was fun to watch at first because he was really dominant, and then he became kind of a caricature of himself. That's my take on Hunter Strickland.
Ramon Laureano.
Oh, give me this one. I think this is the reddest ass I've seen. The guy was so intense. He must have been jacked on steroids. I think he got caught once. But the guy, he didn't talk to anybody. He was just like so focused on the task at hand. Anybody like talked to him, he'd like snap at him. There's this one game against the Astros where he got hit 3 times in the weekend. The guy that he goes back to Dave Stewart said, hey, I don't know what Houston was thinking. They gave us Ramon Laureano, this great player, for nobody. And then the guy that was nobody was pitching in the next game and beamed him. And then he got hit 3 times in those next 2 games. And then he gets on first. And then the first base, somebody from the dugout, like a coach, starts chirping at him. And Ramon Laureano takes on the entire Astros dugout by himself. It's 1-on-20. And he's just giving it everything he got. The guy just does not care about anything but pride and winning. And supreme red ass.
Love it. Great call.
Nice.
Charles Chuck Haley. Niner, Cowboy, Niner,
Nutcase.
Cowboy, Niner, Cowboy, Nutcase. Next, Bill Romanowski. I want to just talk real quick about this guy. Used to give himself acupuncture, just in the, group huddle up. He would just stick a needle in his freaking leg. It wasn't just about beating himself up on the football field, sacrificing everything he had. He beat himself up after the game by doing anything he had to do to put his body back together again. And that's a red ass mentality right there. I will do anything it takes and give everything I have, and I don't care what happens to me at the end.
He was a Niner fan favorite for a few years, and then he went to the Raiders and was definitely a Raiders fan favorite. And then he was very loyal to whatever team he was on. When he was on the Broncos, I remember he spit on J.J. Stokes or something.
I can't remember.
He was a fucking nutcase. And it's funny because he has a very high voice and he speaks very kind of a funny way. But on the field, the guy was an absolute animal.
All right, another classic. Second baseman, Jeff Kent.
Red ass. Big red ass.
Yeah.
I think he might be number 1.
He was really similar to Will Clark in a lot of ways in my memories of him, just from the right side of the plate. But he just it never seemed like you could get him to crack a smile. And if it was followed by some smirky grin that didn't feel like it was authentic. So
yeah, he reminded me of Will in the way that he was just all business on the field. Played really hard, but the clubhouse I don't think liked him that much, and the clubhouse loved Will Clark.
True.
So they had different personalities when it came to relating to their own teammates. Oppositions hated both, but Will had a lot more love from his own teammates, I think.
The money lies in the RBIs, Jeff Kent.
That's
Next,
right. And by the way, he should be a Hall of Famer. He has the most home runs ever for a second baseman.
Oh, yes.
Fucking ridiculous.
Fucking ridiculous.
You got Scott Rowland in there and not Jeff Kent. Give me a fucking break.
Yeah.
He was clean too, which is more to the point.
Yeah, he was clean. He was very kind of just regular guy looking, honestly, and he hit 30 Jackson and have 100+ RBIs.
It's hard to get in the Hall if you're a red ass.
If you call porn stars regular guys, sure.
Yeah, had a sweet stash, no doubt.
All right, Dave Stewart. You talked about him earlier, Joe.
Yeah, so Dave Stewart's kind of got that high-pitched voice, too, and off the field, he's a very nice guy. But on the field, he's giving you that stare, and you're scared shitless. It was a real intense stare. But the other thing is, the guy went to blows on many occasions. He had in a few fights, and there's this one fight early on in his career. He just knocked the guy clean out. This guy was intense.
Was he on the Dodgers?
I can't tell you. I can't remember.
Maybe
But
we'll pull up the YouTube video and play us
yeah,
out
it's a good YouTube video.
a Dave
Check it out.
Stewart knockout blow.
Yeah.
Love it.
Jim Harbaugh, not a player. Well, a
Well,
player.
He was a player.
But as a Bay Area guy, head coach, loved the red ass feel that he gave because it wasn't just I'm just hard and tough. He did it in a manner that made guys come together, which was a very powerful way of doing it and such a rare to see it. One of those coaches, kind of like a Bill Parcells style.
And
I'll let you go first.
When Jed York walked in, he said, "Hey, I'm talking to men here. You can go outside and wait."
Oh my god! So it was all that about that not caring thing that these red asses do. Jim Harbaugh talking to the media was just classic red ass. I just don't. Does this help me win? No, I don't give a shit. Whatever. Moving on. Next.
Gobble gobble turkey.
Yeah.
All right. Second to last on the list, Madison Bumgarner.
Top 10, no doubt about it. Legend.
Oh, wait, give me a little bit of color. I think he got in a skirmish or two.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
you want me to give you color?
Yeah.
Okay. So by the end, he kind of became a joke because he would just eye fuck anybody who looked at their home run after they hit a jack on him.
Yeah.
But his battles with Yasiel Puig were legendary. The guy, talk about winning. All he did was win in the biggest situations you could possibly imagine. He was very reserved also, like to himself, and kind of a humble seeming guy, but on the field he came alive and like became a totally different animal and would scream at guys after he struck them out or scream at guys if they looked at him funny. He was just kind of a psycho on the mound, and you gotta love
Absolutely.
that. Oh.
Yeah. The thing about these red asses is like you don't want a whole team of them, but you kind of want one of them. You need one of them to like keep the intensity for some of these guys. You know, like hey, you know, we got to keep up with Jim Harbaugh. He's nuts. But or any of these guys. I think it's part of the whole mixture of what a team needs to be.
It's the toughness factor, and I don't think the Giants actually have a true red ass right now. I'd say maybe Verlander's the closest thing we have.
And Mad Bum was a guy who would check guys on his own team in the clubhouse. So would Buster in kind of a reserved way, but they kind of kept people accountable, and that's what you want out of some of these red asses.
Well, rounding out the 25 nominated players, coaches, number 25, happy birthday, Barry Lamar Bonds.
Yeah, he's he got in a lot of fights. I rewatched his documentary last night where he got in a fight with Jim Leland in spring training when he was on the Pirates. Had to be held back by Bonilla. He was just a big asshole to a lot of reporters and teammates when he was younger. But, if anyone could be an asshole, it's the love of my life, Barry Bonds.
His best asshole look. His best asshole look was after he hit a home run and he made you feel it on the mound. And he could give one hell of a stare to a baseball as it left the park.
Yeah. And another high talker, by the way.
Another high.
It's very common with these guys.
It's like a thing. Maybe they got teased when they were younger, so they're kind of like have a chip on their shoulder.
I think that might be a categorical requirement for our top 10. And I mean, Will Clark's in there.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds.
But Will has the Southern accent, so it doesn't sound as funny.
That's true. It's not quite
the high Southern is like a kind of an intimidating thing. Hey, motherfucker! You son of a bitch! Yeah.
Takes a different turn. I can't wait to compile all of the high talked red ass.
Yeah, get some clips out of there, baby.
Yeah, we will. All right, guys.
I think we could eliminate about 5 of these guys, and we'll put 20 out there.
Yeah, there's a few that probably the Sharks.
Probably.
Well,
I try to mix in some of my Sharkies just to kind of,
I hear
give
you.
a little bit of love.
I hear
Sharks
you.
don't get a lot of love in Bay Area media, so
True. But also just the fact that all NHL guys are fucking nuts. So,
yeah.
But yeah, we can let's throw a list up of the top 20, and hopefully we can get all your reactions, and you'll be seeing the top 10 list, or maybe even do top 5. What do you guys think?
Just tell us who you want out there, other than the guys we've mentioned. Maybe we missed somebody.
Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe we
totally.
missed somebody. So thanks for hanging in with us. We're the Humm Daddies. I am Jake Lucas. That is Dave Greenstein. That is Joe Starkey. And I will be doing a podcast with Ted Ramey and our boy Paulie Mack regarding the band U2 soon. So tune in for that. We'll let you know dates when they come. More guests to follow, more shows to follow. Thanks for tuning in. Go Giants, go Niners, go Warriors. Humm Daddies!
Humm Daddies.